Okay, guess who's getting a whole week's worth of uploads this week? You guys. Because, as you can tell by the title and the thumbnail, apparently they're going to be rebooting Star Trek First Contact. Okay, so let's just get into it. So, the Hollywood Reporter has put out an article today talking about how Simon Kinberg, I probably butchered that, I do apologize, is in talks to produce Star Trek movie franchise for Paramount. So take this with a grain of salt because Paramount and other sources, this is just coming directly from the Hollywood Reporter, but it bears, if this is true, this bears talking about. Now we know that there was going, so okay, let me just take a deep breath and go over this. So, we know that there are Star Trek movies being in development. The Kelvin Trek 4, which has been in development hell since 2016, as well as a um, kind of another film that is set decades before the J.J. Abrams films, which had me concerned because of where that could be placed. Because it all depends on exactly where it's being placed. If it's after the destruction of the USS Calvin, then it's still in the Calvin timeline. But if it takes place before the destruction of the USS Calvin, that's prime timeline. And that's what I've been worried about, and if they're going to mess it up. And they fucking are. So, let's read the important bit, which I should have a screenshot up here at somewhere on screen. So, the multi-hyphenate is in talks to produce a new Star Trek feature for Paramount Plus. The Hollywood Reporter has confirmed. If all goes well, the door would open to him taking active creative roles on the rest of the storied franchises film side. Alex Kurtzman and Akiva Goldsmith are the main creative producers on Star Trek's television side. The project Keenberg would step into is already very active in development. Toby Haynes, who directed episodes of Star Wars series Andor, is on board to direct the new feature with Seth, I'm going to butcher this, Graham Hameen Smith writing the script. The project is said to be set decades before the events of the 2009 movie that was directed by J.J. Abrams, likely around modern times. It is said to involve the creation of Starfleet and humankind's first contact with alien life. So what the fuck is this then? Because that's literally that's this. This is this film. It showed us the first contact with humans. So unless we're going to see the aftermath of that, the film opens up once again, showing us that beautiful scene of first contact, the Vulcan ship setting down in Montana. We see Cochrane, go up their first time seeing the Vulcans, like we see at the end of First Contact and in the beginning of Enterprise. One episode or a few episodes in Enterprise, we do see that scene. So unless they're going to just re-show that and then just give us the aftermath, I'm all for that. But again, I have issues. Those issues is that it's apparently set in the Kelvin timeline. The fuck it is. The only way that it could exist in the Kelvin timeline, if it exists after the destruction of the USS Kelvin, but since this is dealing with First Contact and the formation of Starfleet, that happened before then. So that's prime timeline. So the film's prime timeline, but it's supposed to be set in the Kelvin timeline. You see where my head is starting to hurt here. It's confusing, and on top of that, it's not really needed, is it? That's what First Contact was for. We've had a whole film dedicated to seeing the first contact between humans on Vulcans. We don't need it again. Give us something original, please. Stop fucking rebooting these things. Like, obviously I'm going to see it because it's Star Trek. I love Star Trek. I mean, it's pretty obvious. If you've watched my channel at any point in the near 3 years that I've been doing this channel, you know I love my Star Trek. But I don't think this is needed. Yes, it would have been nice to see, it would have been better if it had been set after the events of Enterprise. Because basically what this film is trying to do is cram the ending of First Contact with everything that is, Star Trek Star Trek Enterprise. Because we know that for 90 years after First Contact, the Starfleet wasn't allowed to explore the stars because of the Vulcans thinking that they weren't ready. And hence why, the events when the Klingon crash lands on Earth, that's what causes the NX-01 Enterprise to then be able to go out and start exploring and kick-started all of that off. We don't need to see that in film form because we have... I'm just going to have to pull out 2 box sets here. The other 2 are stacked behind. We have 4 seasons worth of this. Of television. Dedicated to that. We don't need to see it. We have it already. So, yeah, I literally just caught, I was just scrolling through Twitter, because they also announced that Holly Hunter has been cast as the on-site captain for Starfleet Academy. And then I see this as well, scrolling through Twitter. And I'm not a happy camper. If this is again, take this with the pinchiest of salts because nothing has been confirmed. So I'm just ranting for the sake of ranting because if this is legit, because again, there are certain aspects that we do know of. We do know it's set decades before the first Star Trek 2009 film. And if this is basically confirming that, yes, this is going to be not only prime timeline, but we're going to get a retelling of First Contact. So that must mean that there must have been something else diverging in the timeline to splinter off into the Kelvin timeline before the destruction of the USS Kelvin. Which doesn't make sense if you ask me. That kind of tanks Star Trek 2009, which I did do a review of for last year, and I love Star Trek 09. I love the J.J. Abrams trilogy, all 3 of them. But I'm not sure on this. I'm not sure on essentially rebooting the First Contact, and I get it. I like I said, I kind of do want to see the foundations of Starfleet, how the aftermath of First Contact with the Vulcans, the early stages of that, but not in a film. Give it to us as kind of like a TV show, like a miniseries or something like that. Not a fucking film that's going to mess with canon yet again. And it's going to give those people who think that modern Star Trek is in its own timeline a fucking field day. That's my rant on it. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. I will hopefully have linked as well the actual article, because I didn't actually finish reading it. I just saw that bit and I was like, okay, gotta make a video on this. So I'll actually go read the rest of it now. Okay, nothing else of real importance. Apparently, it might be coming out early next year, which doesn't really give it much time to film, I guess, considering we're nearly halfway done with this year. But then again, it could take 2-3 months just to film. Anyway, I still don't like this. Let me know what you thought, your thoughts in the comments down below. And I shall see you tomorrow for my review of Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. Because now, with me posting this, you're getting a video every day this week. So I'll see you all tomorrow for that one.